Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Let's talk about Tesla, and we'll also touch on Apple a little bit. So first I'm going to talk about that fiery crash in Texas, and we're going to talk about Apple a little bit, and then we're going to get into Tesla and that crazy all hands on deck meeting. So first things first, if you have not gotten an insurance quote yet with Lemonade, go to metkevin.com/lemonade and check out insurance that you can get for your pet, for your house, for your renter's insurance, or for your life. Go to metkevin.com/lemonade. Okay, folks, Tesla, fiery crash. We heard that all of a sudden in Tesla, earlier this summer or in spring, a vehicle at a high rate of speed hit a tree in Tesla in a neighborhood, Model S, crashed and burst into flames. Media reports freaked out that day, suggesting that no driver was found in the front seat while the car was on fire and 2 people were dead inside of the vehicle, but nobody was in the front seat, leading to a ton of fear, uncertainty, and doubt about Tesla's autopilot because headline news said that a Tesla with autopilot crashed into a tree, burst into flames, and nobody was found in the driver's seat, leading to questions about the safety around autopilot, and of course, Tesla stock plummeted thereafter. This was just the beginning of a series of wild accusations around Tesla's autopilot system. Well, we finally have some more insight. It is no surprise, but here are the conclusions that we have from the accident. Number 1, the driver was drunk. And there was a driver. In fact, the driver was seen on camera getting inside of the vehicle before the vehicle took off and ended up bursting into flames. The driver had a blood alcohol level of nearly twice the legal limit in the state of Texas. There was impact damage to the steering wheel, suggesting that somebody had fallen forward in the accident. And there was also evidence that the auto steering system was actually off during the time leading up to the accident. These pieces here suggest that somebody was a little overconfident, a little intoxicated, potentially hit the gas, drove a little too fast, lost control, hit a tree, car bursts into flames, and is now suspected that at least the driver climbed into the back of the car. We're not sure why they couldn't get out of the front. Maybe to escape fire in the front, or maybe the door would not open. Who knows? Tried to get into the back, and unfortunately ended up dead in the back. It's very sad, very gruesome, but through the autopsy reports, we do know that at least one of the individuals had smoke inhalation damage to the inside of their lungs, which implies they were still alive after the crash, which in fairness does beg the question that would they have died if this were a gas-powered car? In other words, would the car have caught fire? So, autopilot potentially fully exonerated here, I would say. In fact, that's probably the direction I would go in terms of battery safety. TBD on that one. So, a little more clarity on this Tesla accident. Now, let's go ahead and touch a little bit on Apple, and then let's get into some of this other Tesla news that we got regarding an all-hands-on-deck meeting and some other details. So, first though, Apple. Apple is now apparently robbing from Tesla, because remember there was a period of time, and I made a video about this, Tesla was potentially in talks with Toyota to basically license to Toyota the Tesla UI and services, and then all of a sudden Toyota would manufacture a cheaper, maybe $25,000 vehicle in Japan for the Japanese audience, and who knows, maybe ship it out from there. Well, apparently those rumors have essentially vanished. Instead now, we have MacRumors.com reporting that Apple is now reportedly in talks with Toyota about Apple car production starting into 2024. I personally found this very interesting because, well, this was a rumor that we heard about with Tesla. Now, at the same time, we also have talk coming out that Apple could sell as many as 1.5 million electric vehicles by 2030 after beginning production in 2024. We have yet to see what this this Apple car potentially looks like. We know that Apple has been curious about cars, and they have a secret project dedicated to vehicles. We've also seen job listings for things related to cars. And really this 1.5 million car target could make sense after 6 years of vehicle production if Apple does end up producing vehicles in 2024. But 1.5 million by Bernstein, this is at this point, mostly just speculation. Bernstein, by the way, is an investment firm worth noting. Right now, just to give you a comparison, Tesla manufactures about 200,000 vehicles per quarter, so we're about 800,000 to 1 million vehicles per year. We would hope to be closer to 7 to 10 million by 2030. Kathy Wood also talked about the potential for a bear case $3,000 price target for Tesla on Yahoo Finance earlier this morning. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this all-hands-on-deck meeting and some catalysts that have kind of led the stock to go a little bit lower. Apparently, there was some all-hands-on-deck meeting at Tesla, and we heard about a delay in the Cybertruck. I have no idea what this particular article said yet. We're going to go through this in a moment here from Barron's. They have a good piece on this, or expected to be a good piece because I really respect Barron's. But before we do that, I think it's worth noting that the Cybertruck delay that we've heard about now, or if you have not heard about it yet, the Cybertruck got delayed to the end of 2022. The writing was on the wall. In fact, it wasn't even on the wall. We bluntly identified it in the last earnings call. Now, I thought they were going to delay it just to the beginning of 2022 instead of the end of 2022. But take a look at my conviction here in this particular video. Now, I'm not going to put myself right here. So I'm just going to remove myself here. But watch this for about 10 seconds here. When I pick up on the bull crap that Tesla was putting out regarding the Cybertruck timing, because they were asked 3 times about the Cybertruck, and they just wouldn't say it. So I finally got frustrated, and I'll show you what I had to say, and then we'll go to what happened here with the Barron's article. But here, ready for this? Here we go.
You know, even moving like lightning, 12 to 18 months.
Why are they just not saying it's probably going to be the beginning of next year because they're worried about the stock tanking? Like, it's not going to, the Cybertruck's not coming this year. Get over it. Just say it.
So
anyway, you could tell I was getting a little frustrated with the earnings call, the last earnings call. So let's go ahead and pop on over now to the, it was so obvious, right? So like this, Cybertruck delay thing. I'm like, really? Like, duh. Anyway, so let's read about this all hands on deck meeting. What happened? I have not read this yet, so we're gonna look at it together. All right, here we go. Things are getting more complicated for electric vehicle maker Tesla, which, by the way, it's worth noting that there's another investigation that was just announced into a Tesla that apparently killed somebody changing a tire in New York. Not good, obviously. Here we go. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says it launched a special crash investigation team to investigate the Tesla crash. There was a fatal July 26 Tesla crash in New York that killed a pedestrian changing a tire. Not so good. Time for Tesla tequila. Yeah, no wonder it's not available. Elon's taking it all. Anyway, things are getting complicated for Tesla. The company's balancing the new addition of new models, new capacity, new employees, all during the semiconductor shortage. Semiconductor shortage, all news. So, according to reports, Tesla had some kind of all-hands-on-deck meeting. This is either good news or bad news for investors. Oh, I can only imagine. It's always bad news. The bad news is the Cybertruck is facing delays. Investors already knew delivery of Tesla's light-duty pickup truck had slipped. We didn't know that. They didn't say that, but whatever. In the whole earnings call, they totally punted that. But I think any reasonable analyst would have made the same conclusions that I did during the earnings call, so that's probably why Barron's is saying that. Now, it looks as if production won't go into volume before 2023. Also true. I mean, this is worse than expected. That puts Tesla behind Ford Motors, Rivian, and potentially GM in the race to launch an all-electric truck at the scale of tens of thousands of units a year. It's worth noting. That's actually notable for competition. I mean, the Ford Lightning doesn't look that bad. On a positive note, 2023 also appears to be the year Tesla plans to launch a smaller model costing about $25,000. Also worth noting that Elon Musk has been tweeting before this all-hands-on-deck meeting that Tesla will be releasing the beta version 10 for self-driving as soon as next week, and then potentially version beta 10.1 2 weeks thereafter, which means essentially the end of September, 3rd to 4th week of September, which might include the option for the public to opt into full self-driving. which personally I'm very excited about because I don't have that beta yet. Seems like all the other YouTubers have it. Maybe I just haven't been nice enough to Tesla, but I'm a realist. I sit in the middle. When I see BS, I call it out. It's the way it works. Anyway, Musk and Tesla management have talked about lower cost model for many months. This is good because it'll dramatically expand the total addressable market. Sure, the current sedan currently starts at $40K, but then you don't have the full self-driving in it. To date, few details have emerged about this smaller model. The key to selling a lower cost EV is, of course, getting EV cost or battery cost down. Tesla has managed to raise its gross profit per vehicle from about $11,000 to almost $15K in the past 2 years. That happened while average selling prices dropped per vehicle. Musk also told employees that September would be a busy month for deliveries. That's actually bullish. Tesla typically delivers most of its cars in the final month of a quarter. Makes sense. Get that push out. This is the final. That's weird to say. October, November, December. Yeah, September. This is the end of this is the final month of Q3 already. It's so weird because we're just going through Q2 earnings that ended June 30th, and now we're basically already nearing the end of Q3. It's crazy. Tesla delivered more than 200,000 vehicles in the second quarter. Analysts are projecting 224 to be delivered in the third. Global chip shortage, however, will make quarterly production and deliveries a little more exciting than usual. And by exciting, they don't mean good exciting. So really, to me, it sounds like this all hands on deck meeting was just verifying and solidifying that, yeah, we're not going to get to production on this Cybertruck for another year, pushing the entire thing a year out. The writing was on the wall for that in their earnings call, and just some talk about the smaller model. So I don't really see that as such an exciting all hands on deck meeting. It sounds pretty predictable here. It's also, I think the Roadster is going to get delayed to 2023. Was also in the press release on this, but you have to Google Cybertruck to actually get to the darn thing. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, so here's the Cybertruck. Let's just play with the pre-orders here for a moment. And you now have, look at this. So the tri-motor is, you will be able to complete your configuration as production nears in 2022. So they've updated this for the tri-motor. For the dual motor, they also say, they've changed everything to 2022. So they have not pushed anything here yet till 2023, just so you could see it right here since I know my head was in the way. But I know a lot of people are very excited about the Cybertruck. I don't really want to spend the money on it, so I don't really care. But I also kind of want it. It's total butter. It's a total waste of money, but I gotta have it. Anyway, so there's an update on Tesla and their all hands on deck meeting. Big deal. Whatever. Just keep selling cars, will ya? Here, let's look at the stock. The stock. It's worth mentioning that aside from all of the nonsense like jigger-jagger that happens in the stock market and news regarding Tesla, I believe it's worth noting that if we do go into a reduction in inflation, an inflection point to the downside season of September and October, and the taper does not have it happen in September, I think September, October, it's rally mode. It's here. Let's go. And so far, we've definitely seen rallying going into September. We'll see if that continues with Tesla here, and see if we could finally break to some of the highs that we saw as early as January and February of this year, which we've really not revisited until hitting about 777 in April. So we'll see if we can break that 777 over the next month here. My expectation is, unless we have a big miss on deliveries, which comes out the first week of October, I think September is a month to be bullish on Tesla for, although who knows? Who knows? There's been so much FUD for Tesla this year. Doesn't really matter. I do have some sold call positions against my Tesla, which I have not had in a very long time. Okay, anyway. Enough about Tesla. Let's move on.